Today is all about strategy games, from medieval to sci-fi. I got a list of 17 upcoming strategy games that I'm really looking forward to, and I thought I'd share them here in this video. And we'll start with Kinstrife. This is a medieval strategy RPG. You can clearly see the Mountain Blade inspirations with this one. You're a wandering knight, just kind of a nobody that works his way up, eventually getting a clan and then maybe an army and walking around the world. I see medieval Kenshi when I see this, watching the trailer and looking through the Steam page. That's what I'm hoping for, and it looks kind of like that way. Anyway, the by Finitude and Hooded Horse coming out. All these are coming soon. Some of them are coming a little sooner than others. I'll mention that if they are coming sooner than that. Next up, we have Sea Beams. We're going to space. This is a space action RPG. You are a spaceship, top-down style. It seems kind of slow-paced, like fly around, mine some asteroids, pick up some salvage, but then things get exciting, of course, and you go into combat in what I'm going to compare it to is Star Sector, but you're just one ship, maybe a little more action RPG style by Distant Light Games. Published again by Hooded Horse. This whole, there's a Tacticon fest going on right now, and Hooded Horse and Firesquid are putting this event on, so you'll see a lot of Hooded Horse and Firesquid games in my list here at the moment. Starfinder Afterlife. If you're not familiar with Starfinder, party-based RPG. It's like Pathfinder, but sci-fi style. If you're not familiar with Pathfinder, it's like Baldur's Gate, just sci-fi style. And as with all of these party-based RPG, you get your skills, and you use those skills to quest about, roll some dice, and make your way through the Starfinder universe by Epic Tellers Entertainment, coming out here in 2026. Gilded Destiny is a Paradox-esque grand strategy game, a map game, where it seems like a bit bigger scale, where you play on the map mode, but you can also zoom down into the individual city nodes and build industries and trade and production chains and all that stuff. Plus, you zoom out to the big grand map scale, set, of course, in the Gilded era, around 1800s or so. And this is perhaps Hooded Horse's Paradox competition. Rogue Carrier is a colony builder on a big old ship. And that ship, you have to sort of run around the map, visiting different islands. And as you build this base up, this colony sim on a carrier, and calling it roguelite colony management game. Build and manage a city atop an ocean-faring ship. This is just announced by Wildfields and published by Hooded Horse. Capital Command is one that I played a demo of this like 3 or 4 years ago. It's finally getting some more attention to it, and it is developing more. This is an epic space battles and a sandbox campaign where you basically get yourself a big warship, and in this like hard sci-fi style, think Expanse, that sort of setting as you're trying to run your battleship through this sandbox space sim. Pathbreakers Roaming Blades is a turn-based tactical RPG. Tacticon is going on right now. That's the whole thing. Let's get tactical. That's what we got with Pathbreakers. You are a company of mercenaries in a medieval fantasy world. You're probably going to see this and think Battle Brothers, and I think that's kind of what they're going for. It is a new version of a Battle Brothers type of game. Assign your company, travel from town to town, and quest about in this sandbox style of thing by Six Eyes Studio and Hooded Horse. Tempest Rising is out. It's been out for a little bit, but they've got a new DLC that they have announced, and along with that DLC, there's a new demo that goes along with that, kind of announces the single-player campaign that they're building with Tempest Rising, and so I want to make sure and highlight that here. This is by Slipgate Ironworks. Tempest Rising is an RTS. Think Red Alert, Command & Conquer style of classic RTS in the sort of alternate Earth style genre by Slipgate Ironworks and 3D Realms. Stronghold 4, I can't do a strategy game list without mentioning Stronghold 4. Stronghold 4 is it's been out for decades. Build your castle, RTS style, and it's all focused around that castle and your defenses of that castle. And there's a demo that is out, announced just a few days ago with this one. It's kind of a limited demo, but it gets you an idea what the game is all about if you haven't seen Stronghold before. But I got to mention Stronghold because it's kind of the granddaddy of these medieval strategy games. Neath is next up. I don't know if it's Neath or Neath. I feels a little Monty Python when I call it Neath, but this is an eldritch roguelike tactical RPG for the folks that made Rogue Legacy in this it's proper turn-based tactics style of game. Celador Games is making this one. Assemble your party, traverse in roguelike, tactical, turn-based style, and through the dungeon each map. Heroes Hour 2 was announced a little while ago, and I want to make sure and highlight it here. You're building a city with a leader. That leader attaches himself to some units, and then you traverse across a map, collecting resources, building up your bigger army, and then moving and hopefully taking out the other guy. If that sounds familiar, then you're right. It does sound like Heroes of Might and Magic 3, and Heroes Hour 1 was clearly inspired by that. The only difference is it's an auto battler rather than the turn-based tactics that you get in Heroes of Might and Magic. So an auto battler when you go into the combats. And Heroes Hour 2 has been announced a few months ago, and I am looking forward to it. Substructure is for you factory, production chain, conveyor belt folks. This is by Dubious Design, an automation factory, Factorio style of thing on a rogue planet in the far reaches of the solar system. Plus, you're also digging down into the depths of the world as well, with your production chains and your, factories and automation and all that stuff by Dubious Design Hooded Horse. Fogpiercer is a sci-fi roguelike deck builder. You are a train, and your train is traveling from point to point. And each time you get to each point, there's these, bandits in jeeps that are trying to run you off the tracks. But what do? Well, you put cannons on your train, and you blow up the jeeps. There you go. There is Fogpiercer. It's actually coming out real soon. Comes out here July 17th, and that's 7 days away. Well, according to when I'm recording this. Comes out July 17th by Mad Cookie Studio and published by Hooded Horse. Prelude Dark Pain is a tactical RPG. Back to the tactics. Set in a dark fantasy world. You are building up a party. You are actually start out as the local blacksmith, Soren, and you kind of work your way through this handcrafted, painted, really cool looking art style by Quickfire Games and Firesquid on this one. And this is classic turn-based tactics, just with this sort of dark fantasy setting. Next up, we have Architect of Ruin. Architect of Ruin doesn't have a whole lot of info about it. There's no trailer, so I'm just going to show you some pictures here. This is a hand-drawn sword and sorcery colony simulation game. It looks like, at first glance, looks like a turn-based tactical game, but it's not. It's kind of like, one of the reviews says RimWorld meets Cult of the Lamb. And so if that tickles your bone, whatever, then this may be of interest to you. But still pretty early on. I just want to make sure and highlight this one. Next up, we have Australia Did It. Speaking of games, I don't know what it's about. I watched this trailer that's showing right now, and I thought I knew what was going on. Turn-based tactics, tower defense, bugs in Australia are coming to chew on you, and so you're trying to shoot the bugs away. But then it's got this. Tower defense meets reverse bullet hell as you're on a train running through and these things are coming to... Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this one, but I am intrigued, and I want to make sure and show it off here. Finally, we have Northgard Battlegrounds. This is a city-building auto-battler set in the Viking world of Northgard. So you spend most of your time building up your town, hiring units, and creating a town, and then you go to war in this auto-battler style when you send your armies out, fighting against other villages and war bands, and by Fun Day Games and Shiro Unlimited. If you're familiar with Northgard, then you kind of know the universe that you are in, but this is their version of an auto-battler. And that is it. There is Tacticon is the event that's going on at the moment, and it gave me an excuse to highlight some strategy games that are coming out, and I want to do that. So thanks for watching. If you got any more strategy games that I have not mentioned here, then put them in the comments so I can keep up with them. I'll see you next time.